Hey everyone, it's Corey with BowHunterPlanet.com. Back to our series on Archery Basics 101. Today, I want to talk about shooting form. This will probably be a little bit longer video because there's a lot to go over. So, shooting form is extremely important, obviously, to shooting accurately. There's things you have to do with your legs. There's things you have to do with your arms, your hands, your grip. So let's start with what I feel is one of the most important things, and that is the grip. We did a video earlier on how to do a grip, how to properly grip a bow, but let's talk about how to get into that grip right now. So when you nock an arrow and you're getting ready to shoot, okay, first thing that I like to do is I set the cam of my bow right here on my hip, and then I hook in my release, and then I dangle the bow, just like this. Then I take my grip hand, if I'm using a wrist strap, I put it in, and I slide my hand up into the grip. Remember, we have to have that 45-degree angle, a relaxed hand, and that part of our hand right here is the only part that's gonna touch the grip. So by dangling the bow, we're able to very comfortably get our hand into that grip in the proper way with that nice 45-degree angle with our knuckles. So that's a really good place to start, okay? Next thing I want to talk about is kind of shoulder position. Once you come to full draw, you don't want your shoulders up around your ears. You just kind of want them relaxed, and maybe even a little bit low. Some people tend to crunch up like this when they shoot, and that puts tension in your shoulders, and it doesn't lead to good accuracy. So when we come to full draw, a couple of things we want to do. We want to point our bow about straight out. If you have to sky draw like this, you're probably using too much poundage, and you need to lighten your bow up. So you should be able to draw your bow with fairly comfortably with maybe just a little bit of up in the air, straight up, or maybe even a little bit down in case you're shooting in some kind of an urban area. You don't want arrows going too high. So with our shoulders, once we come to full draw with our arm, this arm back here should be mostly level to the ground. We don't want it up like this. We don't want it down like this. We want it fairly level to the ground. Our bow arm up here should also, we don't want to lock out our shoulder or our elbow. We want just a slight bend in our elbow, and that also should be relatively, I'm going to step back so you guys can see. So if I was at full draw, I've got my back arm level, my front arm fairly level. All right, the next thing we want to do is make sure our feet are in the correct position. We don't want our feet completely perpendicular to the target. We want a slight open stance with our chest slightly facing the target. Not like this, but just, you know, I would say if it was a 45-degree angle, I might be at like 15 to 20 degrees, maybe up to, 22 degrees as far as that goes, but just a slightly open stance. It creates more of a I think it creates more of a relaxed torso, so you're not pulling the bow to the right or to the left and things like that. Also, once you get to full draw, when you release the arrow, if you're slightly turned towards the target, a good way to ensure that you're pulling straight back through the shot is to let your fingertips, like here on this release, let them, when you shoot, pull straight back, and your finger can graze your shoulder as it goes by as a good checkpoint that you're pulling right straight back through the shot. So, but then once you get to full draw, what you want to do too is you need an anchor point. So I like to put the crux of my hand between my thumb right here on my jawbone, right on the corner of my jaw. The next thing I do is take the string and I touch the end of my nose, and then it goes right here through the corner of my mouth. Let me show you. I draw my bow, okay? I settle in, and now my nose is touching the string lightly. The string is going through the corner of my mouth. My peep is centered on the round aperture on my front sight. That's another thing you can do. So you've kind of got several anchor points. One, your peep is centered on the round aperture on your sight, the end of your nose, the corner of your mouth with your string, and then your hand tucked in underneath your jawbone. So those are four things that kind of make sure that you're in the same spot every time. So those are some things, that's kind of my ritual. When I step up, I position my feet. I hook up my release, I dangle the bow. I put my hand in the grip. I get it nice and comfortable so it's consistent every time. Look at my target, take a couple of deep breaths, draw my bow, settle into my anchor point, let that breath out, aim, and then when I shoot, I pull straight back so that I'm going over that brushing my shoulder. One other thing to think about there is when you put your pin up on the sight, you just want to let it float. Your left side of your body should be fairly relaxed. We're going to aim with our right shoulder, right, left, up, down, okay? This part of your body should be fairly relaxed. And if you have to struggle to hold that pin on where you want to hit your spot on your target, it's not going to be very accurate. You need to relax and just let it float there. If it's moving around a little bit, that's okay. Just concentrate on that good pull through your shot and it'll work out well for you, and you'll probably hit real close to where you're aiming. And as you get stronger and more practice, that pin's gonna hold in a better spot for you. So I'm gonna show you, do some close-ups and stuff like that so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. But those are some of the key points for good shooting form that you should look for. Get a video camera, have a buddy tape you with a cell phone so that you can make sure that your arms are fairly level, okay? Make sure that your grip is in a good position and pull straight through that shot. And if you do those things and you practice it over time, I'm very confident that you will become a very good shooter. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Till next time, I'm Corey Upper with BowHunterPlanet.com.